Good morning. Today we are going to see the lecture number 38, equivalent circuit of synchronous motor. Synchronous motor. Okay. So now you peoples are already familiar about the construction of synchronous motor construction. So there are two major parts are available in this construction. One is one is stator, another one is rotor. Okay, rotor means it will be armature conductors. Okay, so here only the armature conductors are available. Armature conductor, that is nothing but stator. Okay, so this is the conductors. Okay, these are the conductors. So in armature conductor we are giving the three-phase supply, and inside the rotor there will be a field winding will be applicable for giving the DC excitation. Okay, so this is the structure. So the three-phase supply, AC supply, you are giving to stator. Stator means armature conductor. The DC excitation you have to give in the field winding, which is available in the rotor structure. Okay, which is available in the rotor structure. Now by using these two concepts, we are going to draw a phasor diagram. Now if you take the DC motor, if you take a DC motor, the DC motor will be run by using the DC supply, okay, voltage V, and which we are giving to the armature conductors. Understood? So the voltage, the armature current equation in DC motor, that is nothing but Ia equal to V minus EB divided by RA, where V is the applied voltage, EB is the back EMF. Okay, so EB equal to back EMF produced in the armature. Back EMF. The formula for back EMF EB in DC motor, EB equal to Z. Z is nothing but number of armature conductors. Z phi. Phi is the flux. N means number of turns. P means number of poles divided by 60. 60 means it is the degree phase shift into A. Okay, into A. A is the area of cross section. Okay, Z phi NP by 60 A in case of DC motor. But in synchronous motor, that is nothing but AC motors. Synchronous motor is nothing but which is the AC machine. AC motor, there will be a back EMF will be produced. Okay, back EMF will be produced in the AC motor. Okay, back EMF means that is nothing but EB. EB equal to 4.44 kc kd into flux into frequency into number of turns per phase. Okay, everything is per phase. Okay, this is the same equation which is applicable for alternator. Okay, same EMF equation only applicable here also. So this back EMF per phase is directly proportional to flux in AC motor. Okay, in this AC motor. Now, by using this concept, we are going to give the excitation. Give the excitation means that is DC excitation. DC excitation to this machine. Now, case 1. Case 1. When the motor is running on no load. Okay, when the motor is running on no load, that is you are not applying any load, and as well as it is not having any losses, that is there is no losses are available. Okay, so during this time we are having a excitation to this field wind. Okay, we are having field excitation. So therefore the back EMF EB, which is equal to terminal voltage. Okay, back EMF EB is equal to terminal voltage. So therefore the vector sum of this back EMF and EB, this is my origin point, both are having a phasor difference. Okay, the left hand side will be EB, right hand side will be voltage. The center point will be origin. Okay, so EB and V, which is having a vector difference, this vector difference will be 0. That is the vector difference of EB and V is 0. Okay, in case of the motor is running on no load and no losses. Okay, then case 2. Now when the motor is running on no load but it having losses. Okay, it having losses. Now during this time what happened? See this diagram also. This diagram. So in this case the vector diagram, which because the V value which we are applying here, okay, this is a 3-phase supply, this is my V. Okay, this is V to the stator. The vector diagram which will be like this. V, this point will be 0, origin. Understood? So when you apply the V, the back EMF will be produced in armature conductors. Here only EB will be produced only in armature conductors. So this armature conductor EB is rotating. Okay, note down, EB is rotating anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction means this is my y-axis, this is y-axis, this is x-axis, this is positive, negative, positive, this is negative. Okay, so anti-clockwise means it will be running in opposite direction. This is EB. EB. This EB, which is having a very small angle, okay, which is having very small angle, that is nothing but alpha. Okay, alpha is nothing but it is a load angle or coupling angle. Take down, alpha means load angle or coupling angle okay, and therefore a resultant voltage, okay, resultant EMF is also be provided, it's also be produced between this V and EB. A common resultant EMF will be produced. So this common resultant EMF we have to join by using dotted line. Okay, this point will be resultant EMF. Resultant, ER stands for resultant. Resultant means total back EMF, total EMF, resultant EMF, or we can say resultant voltage also. Okay, then you join this ER and V, ER and V. Now during this time we are having the losses in armature current IA. Okay, this is IA, armature current IA, because it will be produced IA, and this armature current will be lagging because the windings are inductance, because the windings will be inductance. This is the windings, this is inductive nature, so we are having IA. Okay, so IA is the armature current, the angle between IA to V, which is phi. Okay, the angle between ER to IA, which is theta, okay, so the angle between ER and IA is theta. Okay, so angle between V and IA is phi. V and IA will be phi. So this resultant EMF is rotating in clockwise direction. Okay, so during this time in synchronous motor, when you apply the voltage, AC voltage as well as DC voltage, at the starting stage it will be running at anti-clockwise, then suddenly it will be moved to clockwise direction. Okay, now case number 3. Case 3. Now when the motor is running at load condition, because now you are applying the load, and which having losses also, okay, which having losses also. During this time there will be a your EB value, the back EMF value, which suddenly fall back in phase, by a greater value of angle alpha. Okay, alpha. This angle is known as load angle, or we can say it will be a coupling angle, because the load angle will be measured in shaft, which is coupled with the shaft, Now by using this above diagram, okay, this EP value will be start moving towards this ER. So the phasor diagram we are going to draw like this. This is my 0. I am marking the x and y axis. This is x, this is minus x, this is y, this is minus y. Okay. This is V, terminal voltage V. Okay. So during this time, normally your back EMF it will be like this. Okay, small back EMF EB will be there. Now when you apply the load, what happened? This back EMF will be suddenly start increasing and it start moving towards this phase, okay, towards in phase, that is nothing but EB. So during this time the resultant voltage will also be in line with EB. Then you have to join this ER and V. Okay, and we are having the armature, because there will be a slight increase in armature current. So the angle between armature current V is phi, the angle between ER and V is theta, the angle between this normal back EMF, this dotted line, and this one will be alpha. Okay, total alpha. Okay, so when we are having the load angle, okay, that is when the motor is running on load conditions, there will be a sudden drop is also be there, and which is applicable in armature current. This line will be IA into ZS. This is nothing but IA into ZS is nothing but impedance drop. Impedance drop. Okay, so when the motor is running on load case, the EB is suddenly fall up into the phase, as well as the ER value is also increasing. Okay, due to increasing this resultant voltage, our armature current IA also increasing. Because of increasing this ER and IA, there will be a slightly decrease the power factor. Decreased power factor, that is cos phi. Okay, any doubts? Any doubts? Have any doubts, students? Now I'll explain how to find the power. Okay, how to find the power. You see here. You see here. Power stages. Power flow in synchronous motor. Power flow in synchronous motor. Okay, power flow in synchronous motor. First step. Okay, first one. First step. The other name for this will be power stages. We can take power stages. So first step, we are giving input to stator. Okay, input to stator. The first step will be AC. This is AC, electrical power input to stator. Stator means armature. Okay, stator means armature. Here, understood or not? This is my first step. The notation for this input, 3-phase. This is my input, P in. Okay, we are taking P in. So the formula, P in equal to, general formula, P in equal to VIA, voltage into armature current, into power factor, cos phi. Since the machine is star connected, 3-phase machine, the power input P in equal to √3 line voltage, VL IL cos. Okay, so therefore we know that in star connected, the line voltage VL equal to √3 into V phase. Okay, √3 into V phase. This is my equation 1. Understood or not? So this is stage 1. This portion, 3-phase supply we are giving to stator. Okay, this is stage 1. Next, second stage. Once you give an input, okay, while you are giving input to the armature conductors, here this is the armature conductors. Here only the windings are available. Understood? So in armature conductors there will be a losses. That is nothing but stator copper loss. Because the windings are made up of a copper material, so it will be a stator copper. Cu stands for copper. Okay, it will be copper loss. Stator copper loss. Okay, so where it is available, stator copper loss means which is available in armature. Okay, armature stator copper loss. The formula for this, Ia square into RA. IA is the armature current, RA is the armature resistance. RA is armature resistance. IA is the armature current. Then third stage, stage 3. In stage 3, what happened? There will be a gross mechanical power which will be developed in the armature, that is here between rotor to stator. There will be a gross mechanical power developed, that is PM. PM stands for gross mechanical power developed in armature. Okay, first step, you are giving the input power, then there will be a losses will be produced in the armature. Then once a loss is produced, then there will be a gross mechanical power will be developed in the armature. Gross mechanical notation is PM. PM equal to EB. EB is the back EMF into armature current, IA. EB is the back EMF, IA is the armature current, okay, into a cosine of angle between IA and EB, cos of alpha minus phi per phase. Everything, all the value we have to calculate only in per phase. Okay, PM equal to EBIA. Okay, so first formula is PM, second formula is stator copper loss, third formula will be this one, PM, EBIA cos of alpha minus phi. Okay, alpha minus phi. Now by using this, we can calculate the combination of the input power. P equal to PM mechanical power plus losses, IA square into RA. So from this, a mechanical power in rotor, PM equal to P in minus IA square RA. So P in we already have in equation 1. So this value is substitute. Root 3 VL IL cos phi minus this is for 3 phase, right? 3 into IA square RA. Okay, so for 3 phase system, the mechanical power developed, input power developed in rotor, P equal to root 3 into VL IL cos phi minus 3 into IA square RA. This 3 stands for 3 phase supply to the rotor. Okay, so fourth stage, in fourth stage what happened? Once this mechanical power input to the rotor, then there will be a losses will be produced in rotor, that is nothing but ion friction and excitation losses, because we are giving the DC excitation loss here. Okay, P in, this is P in, second will be losses will be produced in the armature conductor. Third one is mechanical power. Fourth one will be losses. Losses means it is produced because of this excitation. Okay, here only the losses will be produced. What type of losses in field winding means it will be ion friction and excitation losses. And fifth one stage, there will be, we are going to find a final net mechanical power, because we are talking about motor means it convert electrical into mechanical. Net mechanical power output at where we are going to measure the net mechanical power output at rotor shaft. The notation which is P out. Okay, so this is the 5 stages in synchronous motor. The first stage will be AC electrical power input. This is my first stage. Second stage will be losses will be produced in the armature, stator copper loss. Third stage will be a gross mechanical power developed in armature. Fourth stage will be the losses produced in rotor. That is nothing but ion friction and excitation losses. The fifth stage will be, there will be a net mechanical power developed in the shaft. This is fifth stage in the shaft. Okay, now by using this concept I can going to draw an equivalent circuit. Of synchronous motor. Equivalent circuit means we are giving voltage. I will take this diagram again. I can copy this diagram and it is easy. Okay. In this diagram, first stage we are giving the supply, 3-phase supply. This is V. Okay, V value. Then which is given to the winding. Winding means it will look like this. This is a winding. Okay, so this winding which is having the combination of resistor and inductor, that is RA and XS reactance, that is inductance. This is RA, XS. XS stands for synchronous reactance. Take down synchronous reactance. The current flowing, it is IA, armature current, IA. Okay, then we can connect it to a back EMF. This is sinusoidal. Back EMF will be sinusoidal E. Okay, then there will be field winding. This is the field winding. So in field winding, we are giving the DC excitation. This is a DC source. Now how to vary this DC source? We are having the rheostat. This rheostat will be variable rheostat. Okay, variable rheostat. The current flowing from this rheostat will be IF, field current IF. Okay, this is figure 1. Figure 1 will be the equivalent circuit of synchronous motor. Equivalent circuit of synchronous motor. Now for the phasor diagram for the synchronous motor, phasor diagram for figure 1. Figure 1, V, this is 0. I have clearly mentioned the armature current will be lags. This is IA. The angle between V and IA will be phi. Okay. Now there will be a back EMF will be produced. This is back EMF. EB. Between EB and V, there will be a drop. Okay, there will be a drop will be there in terms of resistance. In terms of resistance, this is IA, RA, and this line will be drop in impedance IA into ZS. Then join this EB and V. This line will be reactance IA into XS. Okay, where ZS will be the impedance, XS will be the reactance term. The angle between this EB and V, which is I already mentioned, it will be a load angle alpha. Load angle alpha EB. Okay, this is a phasor diagram for the above equivalent circuit. Now, by using this same diagram, figure 1, in case if you are taking a small machine, in small machines the resistance value will be very much less. Okay, that is lesser than, that is RA value, armature resistance value will be very much small, so we are neglecting it. Okay, negligible as compared to synchronous reactance exists, because in small machines the armature resistance value will be very small, so we are neglecting it. Now if we are neglecting it, the equivalent circuit will be only reactance plus back EMF. This is V terminal IA XS, and this is the field wind. Okay, the phasor diagram for this one, V, IA, this is EB, and this IAXS will be joined between EB and P, because this impedance drop, because we are neglecting, we know that formula Z equal to RA plus JXS. So if RA will be neglecting, so therefore Z equal to JXS, that is impedance is equal to reactance. So Zs is equal to Jxs. Okay, if Ra is neglecting, Zs is equal to Xs. So this line IAXX will be joined directly between this EB and V. EB and V. This line will be IAXX. IAXX. Then we can draw a dotted line to form a triangle. Okay, to form a triangle. This point, this V point, I put A, and this downward point I put B. Okay, this point I can put B. Okay, then from A to EB, again I am projecting the line straight, which towards IA, then join. So you are getting an equal triangle in terms of IA and EB and in terms of the angle between these two will be alpha. The angle between IA to VB, which is phi. So therefore, the net mechanical power developed in our machine Pin equal to EB back EMF into V divided by Xs sine alpha. Since the machine is having very low reactance term, that's what we are neglecting this Ra. Due to this, there is no stator copper loss. That is, we are avoiding, because stator copper loss is also be neglected. Stator copper loss neglected in this case. So therefore, we are getting a gross mechanical power developed PM equal to 3. 3 stands for 3 phase EB V by Xs sine alpha, where PM stands for mechanical power developed, that is gross mechanical power developed. PM equal to 3 into EBV by Xs sine alpha. Okay, sine alpha. Then we can find a final torque in the machine. Gross torque developed by the motor. The gross torque developed by the motor, the torque notation is TG. TG stands for gross torque, 9.55 into PM divided by NS. The unit for this gross mechanical power, Newton meter. This NS is nothing but synchronous speed. Okay, take down. NS means synchronous speed, because the synchronous motor is running at constant speed. NS is equal to 120 per speed. Understand? Any doubts?